much going on this month. I know how busy you are, Deidre. Deidre's done an amazing job, absolutely amazing job working with the Nisei Veterans Memorial Association there. And the site there has not only got a new exhibit that's going on.
We do.
Absolutely you do, and it's a good one. And on top of that, you've got two other things going on. You've got your wonderful lunch coming up with former Governor John Waihe.
Yes.
That's coming up on the 28th, right?
That is correct. We currently have the exhibit all on the 442nd that is going to be running through August. And in the meantime, on Saturday, we decided to start a leadership series because the veterans and their values, they were all about leadership and giving back to the community. And the men of the 100th Battalion back in 1952 adopted the motto of continuing service as their motto. And that came to be our center here on Maui. Each island had something. But we thought, what better way to share the values and the stories and moving forward than through luncheon series. And so we've asked all of our current and our former governors to come back throughout this year. So we started with Governor Ariyoshi back in February, and he came and talked about his time as governor and in the State House. He's 92, and it was a lovely afternoon. And so this...
Well attended, too.
It was very well attended. We had about over 90 people. And on the 28th, we have Governor Waihe, who is the first first governor of Hawaiian descent. And he's going to be talking about values of leadership and the values of aloha and how they guided him through his career and how they are so timely, as timely now as they were back in the 1980s when he was governor.
Well, this is a special event, and I know you have so much going on at your location. I want to remind people this is not at the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center. It's actually at the Kahili Golf Course and the Nahele Ballroom, and some people know it as the golf course there. That's right there where the beautiful Marilyn Monroe house is up at the top, but it's at the restaurant downstairs below the restaurant there.
Correct.
And it's going to be not just a talk, but a luncheon as well.
That's right. This time we're actually doing a luncheon. Last time we did poo-poo, but I think everybody came to enjoy and to eat. So we worked with the Kahili people and have a really nice buffet with lots of vegetarian options that are more than just cut up carrots and raw cauliflower. So some really nice things there at Kahili. And it's $35 at 1:30 in the afternoon, and people can call our office to arrange for tickets.
And again, this is something you should get on, folks, because it's hard to believe it, but it's the Saturday after next.
I know, it's right around the corner, and we are filling up. We have some students from Punana schools who are going to be doing a special little welcoming event.
Aww.
We talk about the next generation, and so every opportunity we get, we try to bring in students. For the Governor Ariyoshi event, we had a lovely young lady, Kayleen Lau from Kamehameha School's Maui campus, share her report on MIS veteran George Sano. And so for Governor Waihe, we thought it would be appropriate to have Punana Leo schools, and we also have a handful of students coming from Kamehameha schools as well. So we really want to share these stories with the greater community and definitely that next generation.
Well, the number to call is 244-6862, 244-6862 to get your reservations in for this very historic event, April 28th, the Saturday after next, at 1:30 for the continuation of the Leadership Series. Now, one thing is I found extremely interesting is understanding the values, and we've been doing a series of talks about the values. And I know you've been very touched because you've actually worked with some of the key people who have been dedicating their lives to continuing the understanding of why these values are important. And it's interesting how they go from generation to generation, but it may take a lot for people to realize that this isn't something that ever gets old, and it goes between all generations as far as these values that are shared by some of these amazing veterans that actually served in the 442 that gets carried on to this day.
That's true. And even though we are the Nisei veterans and we talk about the Nisei values, which means second generation Japanese, these are American values. These are the values of aloha. I mean, they are all similar when you talk about respect and compassion, loyalty, hard work, making sure that kodomo no tameni, making sure that you're doing it for that next generation. These are not dissimilar from the values of aloha. And you're right, they don't grow old, and it's a lovely experience to be working down at the center and having, Mr. Masao Motooka, meeting him at an event. He was in the military intelligence service, or Hiroshi Arizumi, or Tom Yamada, who is 104, Dr. Ohata, who's 100, and they come in and you just get lost in their stories and their wisdom, and you can't believe that an hour has gone by. It feels like just a few minutes that you're just captivated by their lives and what they sacrificed and what their families sacrificed, and yet what they came back and did for our community.
You've been having this new display that's going to be going through, I believe, August on
Correct.
the 442nd.
Yes.
And people coming in, what are the comments you're hearing from people who are looking at the exhibit going on now?
A lot of one-word expressions like "wow," "amazing." A lot of people who come in and then share their family stories. These men were very private. They were very quiet. Most of them came home and they didn't tell their families about what happened for all sorts of reasons. And so we get a lot of people coming in and saying, "Oh, I didn't know what my father did, but then when I had my son and he got to talk to his grandfather, he shared stories." But people had no idea. We had a family come in the other day, and we brought out a box of items that another family member had donated. And they said, "Wow, we didn't know that Grandpa got a Purple Heart. Wow, we didn't know he got a Bronze Star." Oh. So it really, the archives acts as a bridge. It acts as closure. It's very, very cathartic, I think, when people come into the center.
I know you've had at your location Governor Ige,
yes,
and some of the other former governors,
yes,
come in. What's their experience about seeing this amazing story?
Well, Governor Ige was very, very interesting because for those who know our board, David Fukuda has sat on our board for many years. He has since moved to California. But his father was Mitsuyoshi Fukuda, who was the first Japanese-American commanding officer.
Wow.
And it turns out that Governor Ige's father served under David Fukuda's father. And when David Fukuda and Governor David Ige met at the center, they talked about their fathers, and it was a very sweet and emotional time, and you could just see a lot of things connecting in their minds.
And these value lunches you've been holding now, this will be the second one coming up on the 28th. How are we seeing some of these people who've been so much a part of Hawaiian history? How are they feeling from their wisdom and perspective now out of office? Some of them quite a few years.
Yes.
Looking back and seeing what's been happening, on their reflections. What do you learn from their reflections after all these years?
Well, Governor Ariyoshi wrote a book titled "With Obligation to All," and that is such a foundational philosophy of Japan, of Giri, and that you're obligated to your parents and to the past generations, you're obligated to the future generations. And he said, even to this day, all the decisions that he has made throughout his life, the one question he always asked himself was, how is this going to affect my family? I want to make sure that I don't make my family ashamed. Haji,
wow.
That's a big value for Governor Ariyoshi was Haji. Don't shame your family, and make sure that you're laying a foundation that is going to be beneficial for generations
Which
generations
was
to come.
how the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center was built.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And look at how it's touching people now. So I want to encourage people, before we get into the next subject, to sign up for the luncheon. It's very, precious and important that we capture some of these stories before some of these people pass on.
Exactly.
That we hear what they have. This is our oral history that you get, which is very different than reading about. When you hear from the mouths of these people who were so much part of Hawaiian history, when you get to hear them talk, when you can shake their hands and meet them, when you can find out what really was going on, you then are part of that bridge and that connection you're talking about, and you understand a little more about where we are now.
Right.
This is really important, and I'm so glad you're doing it. Again, call 244-6862 for the luncheon with Governor John Waihe.
Who himself is such a charming speaker, and I think he could just get up there. He's one of those people, he could get up there and read the telephone book, for those who know what telephone books are, and it would still be charming. So I really look forward to hearing him speak.
Now, there's another important announcement.
Yes.
People might have seen or heard about this one, which is that you're going to be able to bring Go for Broke, an origin story. It's the Maui premiere happening at the historic EO Theater on May 3rd. Is that a Saturday?
It is not. It is a Thursday.
A Thursday night. Okay. Tell us
We
a
like
little
to mix it up.
how you got this, and it's not just you can actually do for and see the movie premiere for just either $20 or $25. The $25 seats are almost sold out, so you should get on that right away if you want by calling the EL Theater at 242-6969. But then there's also going to be a special pre-movie dinner and 40s cabaret show at 5 o'clock with the dinner from
The Kitchen.
The Kitchen.
Yes.
So tell us about this amazing movie.
Well, Stacey Hayashi has been working on this film for the past 16 years. She herself is a very established. She's written the Journey of Heroes book. It's a comic book series that talks about the 442 and the 100th Battalion. She's very involved with the veterans and just loves them to death, and has been working on this movie for 16 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. It chronicles from Pearl Harbor, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, through the 100th Battalion, and then the beginning of the 442nd, and I think the last scene is where they're all at Iolani Palace, getting ready to be shipped off. But it uses primarily all actors from Hawaii, including Jake Shimabukuro. He's in there. He portrays Mauian Saburo Maehara, who had a tragic story. He was killed in action, but we have this beautiful collection of these letters that he wrote back and forth to his daughter while he was away. But Jake Shimabukuro plays him, also did the soundtrack for it.
Wow.
And it was there were scenes that were also shot on Maui, especially when they were doing the scenes about the Coach Sakamoto and the 3-year swim club, which we had talked about a little bit about last year. So it's very historic. It has a lot of Maui stories in there, and we're just so thrilled to get it. Some of the other actors include Peter Shinkoda, who's with the Netflix, the Daredevil series, Cole Horibe, who's with So You Think You Can Dance, and for those who love Kikaida, Ban Daisuke is in the movie as well. But we really wanted to get the movie to Maui. It had premiered at the Honolulu International Film Festival, hadn't come to Maui, so we've been working with Stacey. A big mahalo to Maui Matsuri, the Japanese Cultural Society of Maui, who helped us facilitate the conversation to get the movie over here. And then our sponsors, Arizumi Brothers and Maui Sons and Daughters of the Nisei Veterans, who are actually allowing us to bring the film over here.
It's an historic film.
It's a historic film.
And not only that, it's something that was done here in Hawaii.
And it's very excellent. She did a wonderful job with it. And this year is also the 150th anniversary of the immigration of Japanese to Hawaii, gannen mono.
I didn't know that.
So what Maui Matsuri, Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, Japanese Cultural Society of Maui, we kind of all got together and wanted to make this movie part of that overall gannen mono celebration. So it's going to be a fabulous week, that Maui Matsuri week. We're going to kick it off. The Kaiwomaru training ship from Japan is going to be docked in Kahului Harbor.
Really?
And then we have our movie, and then Maui Matsuri. So it's going to be a fun week.
When does Stacy come over?
Stacy comes over the morning of the movie, and she's going to stay overnight and then leave the next evening so she can enjoy the Maui Matsuri.
We're going to have to do something on my travel show that week in May to talk about this. It's wonderful to find out. You're such a wealth of treasure. I mean, it really, truly, and to put something like this on is so big, and to be able to see it at the historic EL Theater is going to be so chicken skin.
Well, the EL Theater holds such a dear place in our veterans' hearts. I mean, Bob Hope came, Frank Sinatra came to entertain the troops. So a big mahalo to Alexis and Stephen Descoulias, who are putting on this cabaret show while the kitchen does the dinner inside the theater. It's really a lot of firsts. So it's going to be a
so
very
the
fun
dinner,
night.
folks, is actually going to be before, and I like that you're doing it early. The movie starts at 6:30, correct? But if you want to do the dinner, that's at 5.
That's at 5.
And it's like a whole production number.
It's it's
in the theater.
It's in the theater. It's the kitchen, so it's going to be absolutely delicious. They will have vegetarian options, and you get to watch a cabaret show with the great local talent singing 1940s World War II era songs. I mean, how can you not love that? And it's a fundraiser for Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, so everyone is putting in a lot of kokua for us. So we are
so
just
if
so
you're
thankful.
just going for the cheaper tickets, and I hate to call them cheaper, but less expensive is a better word. $20 for the movie, $25 for the special seating up front, and you get to call early for that because that's going quickly. And then if you want to go to the dinner, it's just $30 for the dinner, pre-movie dinner, and the cabaret show at 5 o'clock. And what's the best number just to call the historic EL
Just
Theater?
call the theater. They're handling all the ticket sales for us. Talk to Judy over there. Everyone loves Judy.
She's great. Yeah,
She's
Judy's
the best.
great. Yeah, 242-6969. 242-6969. This one's not, you don't call the Nisei Veteran Center. But this one's going to be a very historic night again.
It will be.
And to see the movie and to see a little of the history, I think will make it so real. It's one thing about us talking, but to see that story on the screen.
There's nothing like seeing it on the screen, and then Stacy is going to do a question and answer afterwards, which will be really interesting. I mean, she's just put a lot of her life and her funding into this movie, and so we want to make sure that people can come out and see it and enjoy it. And
well, it creates a legacy. Not just we'll be seeing it for the first time, but people will continue to see this movie even past our generation.
yes.
Yeah. So that's very important. And I thank you so much, Deidre, for all the work you do. I mean, it's really amazing. And to sign up for the lunch or anything else that there is involved with the Nisei Veteran Center, what's the number to call?
244-6862.
And the website?
NVMC.org.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aloha.
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 Thank